Oh my goodness. I just finished racing. I'm sitting at the Delaware County Fairgrounds and obviously a little disappointed. I think we knew most of what would take place today, and then obviously Globetrotting making a break, although she's made a break from the 2-hole before. She's made a break on the track before. I really didn't think she would today. She warmed up. She seemed good. She was a little bothered. The track is a little deep here, which is a good track. I mean, it's a great track. But I could hear Globetrotting hitting herself coming up to the gate. Looked like we timed it in good. We were in the right spot. She got out of gear coming out of the gate. And I said, ooh, that was close. And then it was 2 seconds later I lost her. So obviously interfering today on this track. The other filly, Ailsun, did the same thing. She hit everywhere today. They'd rather race on a hard track, I guess. But obviously we have the Breeders' Crown left with Globetrotting. I want to get her back to Canada, get her up on the gate a couple of times. Now that she's a little bit smarter, I don't think today was a stupid break. I think she was just hitting herself and a little bit out of sorts and made a break. She seemed like she had her head on straight, and she just wasn't that interested in participating today. I could tell by the way the last 2 times she caught back right away. Today she ran for quite a way, and that was more or less her making sure she didn't have to get back into the race. And it's frustrating. Obviously, I don't have to tell you, for the people out there that own her, you know how I feel right now. For the rest of our clients that raced horses today, I think we did as good as we could do. I thought I was third with Yes, and I ended up fourth, but he trotted great out of the 8-hole. Susie K raced okay. Overdue Mission, again, parked around the first turn, raced okay, trotted 59, I think. Sometimes things happen. Honestly, he did as good as he wears flip-flops on this track, so did as good as he could do, I believe, also. West 52nd, I just wanted to get him around and train him, really. There was no, hey, float out and see if you can get a hole. When they're getting all going a half and 54 and 2, it would have sucked the life out of him anyway. At least this way, he finished up with a little bit of steam, a good training mile, and now he's got a series coming up in Northfield next month. Compass Rose DC, again, we were all happy. We made this shoe and change to flip-flops. The track it rained on, so the track was firm with a little mud on top at Northfield, and she was great. Today, the track was very loose. A beautiful day here. It's a great day of racing, just not for us. And Compass Rose, you could tell she was played out in the last turn. She trotted 57 in a piece. No shame in that. She went over $65,000 made this year. And then Rose Run Valiant again raced. I got away in 5th. I should have come first over and got cover with him, but I think he might have hooked a 4 or 5 had I done that. But overall, I think I knew, and I think everybody knew, we were going to come in here with a bunch of poor posts and have to really have some luck, and we didn't have a whole lot of luck. Obviously, Globetrotting aside, we take her out of the equation. Compass Rose DC had good luck. She had a hot pace, good spot, sitting 5th, and ended up 5th. Ailsun could not negotiate this track at all. West 52nd, again, 8-hole. Yes, race good. He tried to dig himself out of a real bad spot, and I thought I was third going to the wire. Obviously, the wire here is a little shorter than I thought it was. I thought we were third easy, and we ended up 4th. And the other fillies, obviously, Overdue Mission, Susie K, and Styx, they did what they could. So overall, I guess putting Globetrotting in the mix, it was an incredibly disappointing day. Taking her out of the mix, I think we did what we thought we could today with the draws we had on a half-mile track that is notoriously hard on the outside posts. So we'll get Globetrotting back to Ontario. The good news is there's nothing wrong with her. She's sound. She was just interfering behind the gate, and you could see it. You can go back and watch the replay. Right before they let us go, I let her trot out like I always did. I said, she's good. Bing, bing, bing. She hit herself, get out of gear, caught herself, and then hit herself again and finally said enough and made a break. She doesn't usually do that. She'll brush at herself a little bit at Northfield and at Scioto, but not like that. And I would suspect the deep track played a role, but now that we've raced in a deep track in Scioto this year a couple of times, she raced well there. So whatever, she made a break. We can chalk it up to whatever you want at the end of the day. It's a third break of the year, only the first time she's ever missed a check, only the second time she's ever been off the board, and she still has $151,000 American in her bank going back to Canada. Am I going to say we're going to win the Breeders' Crown? No, but we're going to give them a rattle, and we're going to have a race or two and a schooler into globetrotting also, to see if we can make sure. I'd like to be able to put her nose right on the gate. We're asking a lot. This is a filly, and people can say, well, you should have had her on the gate all along. You don't know what you're talking about. I mean, at the end of the day, this filly is fragile. If we had to put her nose on the gate her first start, she would have been a runaway and making breaks all year. Instead, we taught her to do something that she's actually really good at. She couldn't do it today, and she made a break. So, obviously, depressing day for me. My first time ever driving at the Delaware County Fairgrounds, only the second or third time I've ever been here. Thought globetrotting, and then the rest of what took place, we'd be like, we had the best day we could. And then that happened, and it just turned into a bit of a depressing situation. But the weather's nice. I'm going to go watch my brother drive in the Jugette. He was second in his elimination, so we'll see how that plays out. But we're on our way back to Canada. For most of these horses, Susie K, she's probably done for the year. Overdue Mission has the stake race still to come up, the Buckeye Final. She made it in, obviously. I don't think that sometimes things happen did. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll see. Yes has Philadelphia now. There's an important note. Yes is going home with Irv Miller. And Irv Miller is going to train Yes. He's going to race him in Philadelphia next week in the Simpson. And then he has some stake races in Indiana. The Erskine and the Circle City or Circle Drive or something. I'm going to double check on the dates for those for you. But he has some stake racing left on his schedule here in the United States of America, none of which is in Ohio. So he'll exit Ohio with just over 100, closing in on 110,000 made this year, closing in on 200 life, I guess, with 2 or 3 or 4 stake races left. West 52nd will come back to Canada. I didn't enter West 52nd in the Harrisburg sale, only because I felt that there were some spots for him in Canada. He still fits in onwards at 3. We still have some money to make with him. We can sell him privately or on gate in no time. I just didn't. I thought I was going to give the horse a chance. I guess I could have entered him anyway and given him a chance before the sale to tell us what he wants to do. But I thought that he's got some good left in him, definitely, for us anyway. Compass Rose DC is done for the year. She's going out to the field at Winterwood, as is Rose Run Valiant. Ailsund, I think she's still going to maybe have enough points to get into the finals. I would throw today's race out. It's easy to say that for globetrotting. I expect her to be special and overcome things like this, but she is a baby. Those things happen. Her and Ailsund both couldn't get a hold of the track today and had poor performances. The rest of all the other horses did what they could, I suppose, given the circumstances. So we'll regroup. I'm not going to piss and moan about it. It's not the end of the world. It's not like she was racing for $500,000. She was racing for $55,000, which means a lot to a lot of people, including me. But let's regroup. We'll race her, get her back, let her stretch her legs out at Mohawk, and a start or two before the Breeders' Crown, which is coming up in 4.5 weeks. Our year's long from over. Long from over. Still got lots to do. The horses are racing good at home. So we'll try and regroup from a minor bump in the road here in Delaware, and we will be back I'll be back in Canada tomorrow for Arvika, and I'll play it alone. And then Friday we get all the stake fillies in Ontario and the grassroots. Now the grassroots final, I will be in Lexington. So I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think anybody's going to miss me, least of all the horses. Other drivers have driven them all year. I don't think there'll be an issue there. But we still have a lot to talk about in that regard. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go get a beer. I am going to sign off. I'm going to go watch my brother race and cheer him on, and then get something neat. So it's a crap day, but this is horse racing, and this is far from the worst or the best days we'll have coming up. Take care.